A giant letdown. The Eagles fall to GWS by 16 points in a thrilling struggle on the road. West Coast showed spirit and energy but failed to execute under pressure and remained in 7th on the ladder. The travelling woes returning, with the Eagles now 1-4 when crossing the Nullarbor in 2021. Welcome to Eagle Review, proudly brought to you by Stake. Download the app today to access hundreds of US stocks with zero commission or brokering fees. Tyson absolutely shattered with the result. It was a seesawing battle, but in the end, the Giants too good on the day.
Well, Stephen, as you get older, you try to get a little bit more philosophical about losses.
No, I don't. I broke many things in the house. The TV's in strife.
Well, you can understand because it's extremely disappointing. I mean, we came into this game thinking we probably had enough firepower to defeat the GWS defence, who had a few soldiers out, but they were fantastic. To their credit, they were excellent in the contest. Under pressure, they fought really hard late in the game. They deserved to win.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster though of emotions. They just teased it out there with 13 lead changes. It had you on edge for all 4 quarters.
Well, 13 lead changes is absolutely remarkable, Thumper. Usually an AFL game averages around about 3.5 lead changes. 13 is just about unheard of. But the Giants' pressure was really impressive, Thumper. They had 32 more tackles overall and 16 inside their forward 50. That's double their normal average. They had 10 more clearances, 5 more inside 50s and 101 more disposals. Most of that was in fact uncontested possession. So as the game wore down, the Eagles wore down. We particularly struggled to keep it inside our forward half late in the game.
That's right. So despite being +7 in contested marks on the day, we were -50 on grabs for the afternoon. So you could tell what GWS's tactic was. It was to really starve West Coast of their possessive type style of football, their lateral ball movement. We would send the ball back to basically start the switch and they'd go and equalise and we'd end up losing territory. So the moment that we have to go away from that, it's now a heavy reliance to win the ball at the contest when going one-on-one. And we failed in that area. Even despite being level and contested footy, losing clearances and not giving our forwards best opportunity. I know we're missing Yeo and Shuey, 2 of our greatest players in that situation, but you've got to find a way around it. One's on the cusp of returning, but one's still a little bit away.
Yeah, and we've got to give credit to the GWS midfielders. Okay. Well, we do, because the Giants' mids were fantastic. Josh Kelly in his first game as captain was terrific. 25 disposals and 8 tackles. Tom Green, 27 touches and 2 goals. Taranto, 421 metres gained. Hopper showed tremendous courage late in the game to come back off the bench injured. Their entire engine room played really well and probably outplayed ours.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, you had Andrew Gaff stand up with 28 disposals. Tim Kelly, 22. He had 8 clearances and 8 inside 50s. I don't think you can gloss over that. He fought hard all day. I loved this play where he ended up winning the ball out of the centre bounce. Extra run, really gut-running stuff. Followed up, got the handball and delivered this running almost full tilt inside forward 50. Needed to see more of it on the day, but that was something special I wanted to highlight.
And Thumper, the ruck battle was really interesting as well. You had 2 veterans and 2 youngsters. Mumford and Lynn versus Nick Nat and Bailey Williams. Williams was okay. He took a couple of good marks and kicked a goal. But Nick Nat, a game-high 8 clearances, 13 contested possessions, 34 hit out, 6 tackles. Let's make him our stake high flyer player to watch. Look at his stock go up 14% each of the last 3 weeks, Thumper.
Yeah, it's impressive. He's been on fire, but I think Mummy's going to hold his head high at the performance he put in. And Flynn bombed up and kicked 2 goals. I know Williams took some great contested marks around the ground, even bobbed up for a major himself that was quite important, but it's probably a big tick for their big man on this occasion.
What about the forwards, Thumper? I mean, you think about the impact that they had last week and the amount of contested marks they had and goals that they scored. Allen, J.K. Darling held to just 1 goal each, 5 behinds between them.
That's the tough stat to swallow, the opportunities they had. And then it took the small forwards bobbing up and making the most of their chances. So you had Petruccelli kick 2 and Cripps' 2. I mean, the level of difficulty for Jamie Cripps was off the charts and he slotted them. So quality work from the small fellas. Let's have a bit of a look at Shannon Hurn. So you've got to tip the cap to the previous premiership skipper. 2 false starts, finally got there with his 3rd time, eclipsing the club games record from champion ruckman and bloke Dean Cox. 291 games, hadn't played since round 4 of this year. Quiet in the first quarter, got better as the game wore on. Great to see him back out there, though. Very important for their stability.
Yeah, I mean, he's really a West Coast legend when you think about it. 291 games, drafted in 2005, comes from a town called Angaston in South Australia. And if you look at that draft class, I mean, it was a beauty, that one, 2005. JK got picked up by Carlton at pick 4. We took Hurn at 13. Now, the rumours were we were going to take Birchall at 14. He's still playing. He's a ripper as well.
Great stat, that one. So I was a bit surprised Jermaine Jones was the one to miss out. Made way for Liam Ryan, and he had a hand in the first goal. So basically, this well-weighted kick inside forward 50 on the inside, very difficult. Petruccelli didn't break stride, and then was very quiet from probably the second quarter onwards. And no doubt he and Hearn will be back into the best constantly throughout the 2021 season. But it's just tough timing for those two stars to return and, shaking off a bit of rust from missing so much time.
Jackson Nelson was omitted for the first time this season, but he actually came back into the team late because Alex Witherden pulled up tight in the captain's run with a groin.
Well, we definitely don't need any more injuries in this West Coast camp. Brad Shepherd sustained an ankle injury, but he was able to play on throughout the game. We'll have to see how that one comes up. Ankles are funny ones. But even worse news, Jared Cameron in the waffle. He was helped from the field, got his ankle trapped underneath him in that contest. Going to have to stay tuned to the St John medical update to see how he fares, but not great news for the boys.
There's some good news, though, from the Waffle Eagles. The return of Elliot Yeo, 13 disposals and 8 tackles. Only played about 60 minutes or so. They're still working him back into full game action. Get the full rundown on his performance and everything Waffle Eagles on the Waffle Report a little bit later in the week. Simo said he's going to be patient with Yeo, doesn't want to rush him back. Is it going to be this week or next week?
It's a hard one. It's going to have thunderstorms predicted for this Saturday, so it's a matter of whether you want to ramp up his minutes or just throw him back out there into some senior footy. He's certainly good enough, but it's the tank there. That's going to be the question match committee will weigh up. You ready for some roast?
Oh, time for your roast.
Excellent, courtesy of Steak. Let's start with Oscar Allen. This forward 50 tackle on Whitfield. Oh, I just can't believe it wasn't paid. Oh, I'm still wondering what on earth was going on. Have a look at Dommy Sheed here. Just absolutely burning Brander on the outside. And Dommy Sheed's a left footer.
No.
Brander, he's probably a bit too young to be cooking him, but that was a tough one late in the fourth quarter, T-Bay.
Now, Thumper, if anyone knows what this free kick was for in the first quarter that led to a Giants goal, please let us know.
Mystery one, that.
Now, Jared Brander is a big, strong young man, but he hadn't seen the big mummy come, and that is a big hit.
Got mummified on that occasion. Jack Red and Jamie Cripps, these are the worst moments in football. Unselfishness to a fault.
No.
You have it. No, you have it. Ball goes out of play. Simo was a real rat with it in the end as well. Look, a couple of Chuck Norrises in the midfield here. Let's go Lucky Whitfield. That's as blatant as it gets. Probably got to throw Jamie Cripps in that area as well. Both teams ended up missing their shots on goal, so footy gods don't lie, TB. Now, have a look at this. It's a bounce from Finlayson. He's had a crack from 45. Doesn't look anywhere near going through. Jared Brander plays all the way around it. Pretty stiff. That is a genuine right angle break. And you throw that in with later in the quarter, Josh Kennedy, brilliant textbook snap, hits the goal square in the middle, and then that cops a sideways bounce. I think when that started to happen, I just thought, oh, this is not going to be our day.
What about Jared Brander here, Thumper? Gets the ball, it is back 50 and just stops. Was there a whistle or not?
Interesting tactic.
Now this one here in the third term, Thumper, Whitfield plays on, Waterman loose checking, but the poor old umpire cops it in the nog.
Unfortunately. Let's go around the grounds. And Nyan Kervis, talking about using your head, this is one of the better ones. Just took his eye off the ball at the wrong time. Toby, what are you doing? But even stranger activity was Harris Andrews at the Gabba. That dancing on the mark is something quite unique. He's tried everything to put him off. He's even booed him at one stage. Made absolutely no difference. Lynch has absolutely dobbed it. But basically, he's on style with the wacky, waving, inflatable, arm flailing tube man. And Ethan from Twitter has summed up his future career. He's going to fit right in with his buddies there.
Those things always make me laugh. Let's go to the Power and Pies. And this umpire, Nathan Williamson, very nice bounce, but then trips up going backwards.
Love him.
Now, ABC News, Pamela Medlin, one of the most accomplished newsreaders in Perth. Not a roast on her, just the graphics man for Fremantle.
They make that a mistake a lot. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Now let's go to the Giro d'Italia, the toughest race in the most beautiful place, Thumper. And this bloke here trying to put his jacket on and whoop, there he goes.
That's a good pick up by you. Now we are going to go across to Falconland. So this is a bit of homemade footy here. So one way to keep the footy out of the major goals, and that's just using your bonds. Great defending there. Hey, let's have a look at Etihad Stadium, I reckon this is. Essendon North. North Melbourne player goes over the boundary. Oh, he's knocked over his beverage and he is unimpressed. Picks it up. Well, what are you going to do about it? It's empty. You going to help me out? No, he's not happy, Jan.
Now, Thumper, country footy always throws up some pretty big blowouts from time to time. How about this one, though? In southwest Victoria, Tatyoon, 41-38, 319 to Karamat, 2 solitary points.
It's a serious pantsing, that one. So we're on to the last two, and this is stiff not to win it, if true. Have a look at this tweet from Oliver Caffrey. He said, AFL Tribunal Chairman David Jones has put Taron Thomas's hearing on pause because his wife doesn't have a key to get in their house. What is happening?
Under the mat, In the pot plan,
Just go and do something for half an hour.
plenty of options.
It's a shocker and a stiff not to win, mind
Well,
you.
here is the winner. So we go to the PGA Championship in South Carolina, and it's Eric Van Rooyen. Now, he goes into the drink here.
Tough shot.
On this par 3. Bang. He's not happy. He goes whack, and he turns around and he goes whack again.
Almost hit the caddy. Oh, the crowd's not happy.
Now, look at his opposition caddy here. Snubs him on the handshake. Ready?
Bang.
Off you go.
Fully deserving, I reckon.
That's the winner.